What is up, guys? Today we're talking the last 8-9 matchup on the slate, one of the last first-round matchups, if not the last first-round matchup of the first round, Friday night at 9:55, a late-night game between Utah State and TCU. Utah State, the Aggies, an unbelievable year, 27-6, after returning really no production at all, and the Horned Frogs coming in at 21-12 in a tough Big 12 conference. This is going to be taking place in Indianapolis. Let's talk Aggie ball first, because they're led by a great player by the name of Great Osobor. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name. I've seen him play live. I love his game, the Montana State transfer. He averages 18 and 9, and he is great, and he leads this team along with Ian Martinez, who averages 13. He averages 18, and he does a lot of that inside the arc, almost all of it inside the arc. And he leads Utah State, who is an incredibly, if not one of the best, two-point shooting teams. However, they struggle to defend the two, so they take a lot from inside the arc in the paint. They give up a lot of inside the paint. They don't take a lot of threes either, so they're going to try to dominate the paint. They play at a slow pace, and I think that plays into their favor, especially in this first-round matchup. If they were to win and move on and play most likely Purdue, I think they would struggle to stop Zach Edey, and then Zach Edey obviously just clogs up that paint, so they would struggle inside a little bit. But they're one of the best teams at drawing fouls. They slow down the game. They are actually might be the team that averages the most free throw attempts for field goal attempts in the entire tournament. So they're very good at drawing fouls. They're a great rebounding team. However, they're very good at defensive rebounding, not offensive rebounding. They're a very interesting team. They're great at some things, and you expect them to be great at other things, and they're not. They average 79 on the year. They give up 70. They're 2-0 versus top 25 teams. They've beaten good teams this year. I mean, obviously, it's just all in the Mountain West. The Mountain West, I thought, was a little overrated this year, unfortunately. But, of course, they beat San Diego State. They beat New Mexico. They beat Boise State twice. So they've beaten good teams, obviously. But they're one of the classic Mountain West teams. They beat Boise State at home. They did beat them away. But then they beat San Diego State at home. They lost to San Diego State on the road. They beat New Mexico at home. They lost to New Mexico on the road. So they win their home games, lose their away games. Does that mean they struggle just in tough environments, or does that mean they struggle truly just traveling to other places? Is traveling to Indianapolis going to be a struggle for them? We will see. They play a TCU team that's led by Emmanuel Miller, 16 points per game, 6 rebounds. This team is simple. They're very simple. They like to run the floor. They crash the boards, and they're great at fast break and second chance points. So they're going to try to speed up the game. Utah State's going to try to slow it down. Utah State is a great defensive rebounding team. TCU crashes the boards and is one of the best teams at second chance points. So clashing styles is going to make this game very good. TCU defensively, they force a lot of turnovers. However, here is the kicker. Like we said, Utah State, one of the best teams from two-point range. One of the best teams in the paint. TCU is very vulnerable on the interior. They give up a bunch of twos. They struggle on the defensive glass. So they're great on the offensive glass. They struggle on the defensive glass. Utah State is great on the defensive glass. They struggle on the offensive glass. So which is going to break? That's going to be a big thing. But TCU struggling to guard the paint really plays into Utah State's favor. TCU's got experience, though. They've played great teams. They've played 11 top 25 teams this year. They're 4-7 in those games, but they beat Baylor at Baylor. They beat Houston at home. However, they lost to Baylor. They lost to Iowa State twice. They lost to Kansas. They've lost to good teams. They've beaten some really good teams. However, I think I'm going to take Utah State in this game. I think the matchup with being a great interior team and TCU struggling to guard the interior is going to hurt them. So give me Utah State with great, I'm just going to say great, with Great Osobor. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name. But with great, they move on. They'll play Purdue in the next round, most likely.